So, my friend, I'm going to show you now Yacumadre, our beautiful, hard to work paradise.
Just across the river there is where it all begins, that field, that rainforest and much more. So stay tuned and you'll be seeing it all.
So, it's getting hot. We come down to our paradise, which we actually will protect. When you see down, you see what's jungle and what it's just cut it down. This piece you see, it's maybe 1 month old. So the story, our neighbor wanted to cut down the whole thing, and we said, Tom and me, we said no, we want to buy it, we don't want that, because there actually we wanted to have our ceremony place to work with the ancestral medicines like ayahuasca. So the guy became hungry and he increased the prices until endless. So I was already convinced to pay the price, but then my wife interfered and said, hey, don't do that, because you know what will happen. They go and buy a bigger piece and make the same game again with you. So actually we had to sacrifice this beautiful, it's 12,000 square meters, which they just cut down for growing grass. And when you see the whole valley, that happens everywhere. This whole valley was jungle once, and yeah, now they grow coffee, no profit. They cut their own water off, and it goes on and on and on, and that's actually what's our idea to stop.
What we're doing here and what we're looking to achieve, the mission, I guess, comes in many forms. I'm sure it's going to keep evolving and evolving as we go on too, but there are a few central pillars. One you hear us talk a huge amount about is the environmental preservation side of things. There's also the farming that's going on in this area. The main, I don't know if we can see there, is coffee, which is the main crop grown here, which the farmers put a huge amount of chemical pesticides and chemical fertilizers on, which pollutes the water and the land. But it's not just about that. With this food production, going away from the environmental side but to the economic side, the locals here are really struggling to get by. Some months even making a loss off what they're doing. The price of coffee in Colombia recently went up, which is great, but the price of the fertilizer they then apply to it and the other things also went up in direct proportion. So at the end of the day, they're no better off and they're barely getting by. So we're looking into how we can bring them different alternatives and different ways that they can really prosper economically themselves, which is obviously a crucial part of the mission, but also in that process helping the environment prosper at the same time.
Here. That's what the coffee farmers drinking. So they grow fantastic coffee, okay, of course with a lot of chemicals and stuff, but they go to the supermarket and have to buy coffee. And look the brand, I mean, that makes me sick. We have to help them.
Another key pillar comes with Renato, myself, my wife Darcy, his wife Sabina. We all work with natural and shamanic medicines, ayahuasca being the main one, or yahe as it's known here in Colombia, and various different other ones from ortiga to mambe to cambo. So looking to really help people heal, connect, find happiness, through all those different types of medicines and forms of working, and I won't touch on that more now because we'll be looking and seeing much more of that in future, but that really is a central pillar. And then it comes sort of going back to how we used to live before, more in terms of, instead of being on top of each other in skyscrapers and apartments where you don't even know your neighbour, but living again in community in a much more natural way with how it always used to be, and kind of connecting different regions and parts of the world and the locals here with this vision, and helping to trying to inspire other people with what we're doing and what we're looking to achieve with that. And
sorry. So we went out to the nature to disconnect from everything, and Tom and I, and the first thing we had to install was a satellite internet connection. Well, it's modern world, what can I do?
And we're also looking to make everything as sustainable and circular as possible. I mean, just looking at the food production, take the waste from the chickens that will then be used to fertilize the plants, that will then be used again when the leaves fall off to recompost, put worms into that compost that will then be used to feed the chickens, that will then be used to feed the plants and so on. I mean, we don't yet have chickens here or the whole process done, but that kind of gives you half an idea of how some of that will be looking to work. And maybe you're wondering how we ended up here, so here's the story.
Well, Tom and I, we bought together a piece of land close to the city, and one night we drank ayahuasca, and we look at each other and say, hey, but is that really what we want? Because it's close to the city, we have nothing to grow. So we said, no, we need something bigger. Let's go to find. So we went down to a village called San Rafael. There is a lot of community people, but there is a lot of party people too. And we didn't like it at all, because when you go on Google and you look at San Rafael, you see 100 yards left and 100 yards right from the river. Looks like jungle, and everybody say, wow, San Rafael, there's so much jungle. I loved it so much, the jungle of San Rafael. But actually there was no jungle. So we went, it brought us to a guy who said, yeah, I have some land, but it's in Sonson, it's in Argelia. And we, what is that? My friend Tom, he knew where is Sonson, where is Argelia. I had no idea. So we looked at the map and we saw this. And I said, what? No, this is too far away. It's like 3 hours from Medellin. It's too far. But no, thank you, bye. Something like this. But we couldn't sleep. Tom couldn't sleep, I couldn't sleep. So hey Tom, let's go to see that piece of land, come on. So we came finally to here, the seller of this piece of land, he showed us. And from the beginning on we said, and this whole mountain is ours? And this is ours too? And the whole river is ours too? And then I said to them, hey, we already say it's ours, it's not good for negotiation. So maybe we have to change the wording. But we said, no, this is ours. I mean, this is so beautiful and it's so crazy. So, yeah, that's the story of our land.
Yacumadre's land is about 300 hectares or almost 900 acres in total. And it comes from right the way down in this corner here, coming up this ridge just before the deforestation, through the fields, right the way up this rainforest, continuing along that ridge to above into the clouds, where well above where you can even see, and then it comes back down this ridge along between the border of the field and the rainforest down to this corner here, and then runs right the way along that river. The river's about 1 kilometre long across our land. And the idea is to keep expanding the community, the amount of land we have. Not because we're greedy or just we want more and more, because we want to protect all this rainforest here. We're not going to do anything with it other than simply leave it there as it is, or land like this, try and reforest and conserve the whole thing to bring it back to its natural beauty. So when we first bought the land here, Yacumadre, the only building that was here was just that shack that you can see with the slanted roof stretching up there. The first thing we put in was just the building just before that with literally just a wooden structure with a plastic roof to store the wood, keep it dry, store tools, and where we can work when it's raining. And the first major construction we've got is that building on that side of the screen, which is going to be used as really the central hub of the community as we get going. The ceremonial house, meeting area, place where you can initially happily pitch a tent. And
that's our piece of land, Yacumadre.com. It's only 800 acres, but our idea is that we completely reforest the whole area. We grow our own food. We leave an example for others to do the same as we do. And we need you to be able to buy more in somehow. I don't know right now, or we don't know how we want to do it, but the idea is that we protect 100 times 800 acres, 1,000 times, because Mother Earth deserves it, and it's delivering oxygen, it's delivering water, it's delivering peace, it's delivering everything. So that's why we are so crazy and we do that here, so far away from the civilization.
Now back at the cabin I rent with my wife Darcy, Renato and Sabina live about a half an hour that way. And the plan in the near future is to live in the community, but we have some things to close off here first, and there's also a few things still with much of the construction to put in place there. The idea of this YouTube channel is to keep you up to date with everything that's going on, from the construction to the farming to how things keep evolving, and also to show you the community there, who's working, meet some of the people, understand more about what we're doing, especially with the natural medicines and shamanic medicines too. So please like the video, subscribe, turn notifications on, drop us a comment with any questions you have, and we'll be very happy to get back to you. And if you like the sound of the environmental preservation and regeneration work we're doing, please support us financially through our Patreon channel or through the one-off donation link found in the description, where you'll find much more information. And we'll be keeping you up to date with exactly how every penny will be spent. Thanks so much, and stay tuned for future episodes coming soon.